They did it. Disney now will own the majority of the 21st Century Fox assets. This includes X-Men, Avatar, Simpsons, Fantastic Four, the FX networks, pretty much all of the TV and film properties of Fox. I don't believe it doesn't include Fox News, their sports divisions, but it is a huge. It is most of what Fox is today. So of course this is a big deal because, you know, to fans like us of the MCU, this gives Marvel the rights back to the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and Deadpool. Some people are concerned that this could mean that maybe the future Deadpool movies or won't be rated R, or you're not going to see like a rated R X-Men related film like Logan happen again, which may not be the case. I don't think it's around anymore, but do you remember Touchstone Pictures?
Yes.
So not many people know this, but Touchstone Pictures was actually owned by Disney, and they basically put their more edgy PG-13 R-rated material under that label. So it's not like Disney hasn't done this before, where they simply use another label, and I think they can actually use 21st Century Fox's label to do that. If they want to, if they don't want the Disney name associated with an R-rated movie, they don't have to.
Right, because they have no association to it then after it, because it's not done by them.
Well, it is done by them, but they're just keeping their name kind of out of the hat. I don't blame them for doing that. I really don't. I feel like you can, you know, if you're going to be in the entertainment business, you do what's out there. Okay? You just do. And if people want these R-rated Deadpool movies, I'm not a fan of them, but they're apparently making money. You know, why not do it? That is to say, I don't want to see an R-rated and like Avengers. Like, no, why? We don't need that. Plus, I think we've got a pretty good standard of where we are now. So there have been some thoughts shared by others. Specifically, I wanted to cover there was a Collider interview with Hugh Jackman, who's been Wolverine for the last 17 years, and what he said about this deal before it became finalized. He said, "It's interesting because for the whole 17 years I kept thinking that would be so great. Like, I would love to see particularly Iron Man and the Hulk and Wolverine together. And every time I saw an Avengers movie, I could just see Wolverine in the middle of all of them, like punching them all in the head. But it was like, oh well, that's not going to happen. And it was interesting, just when I first saw that headline, it was just the possibility of it, and who knows what's going to happen, obviously. I was like, hang on, but I think, unfortunately, the ship has sailed for me, but for someone else, I would like to see Wolverine in there." So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool that he's okay with, like, there being someone else as Wolverine being in the Avengers movie when he kind of wanted to do that for most of the time that he was Wolverine. Like, see them cross over. It's kind of sad, actually, because I still love Hugh Jackman, but let's face it, you can only be a superhero, especially a very physical superhero like Wolverine, for a very short time out of your life. You got to be in your prime for that. Of course, Chris Evans tweeted out, "So who do I talk to about a Cap Human Torch buddy comedy spinoff? I'm thinking Planes, Trains, and Automobiles meets Parent Trap." We talked about that during the last podcast. That Chris Evans solo. But this, I think this is great. I think this is grand. What do you think?
It's cool. Maybe you can get a Wolverine versus Hulk movie.
I'd love to see that. I would love to see, I want to see a rebooted X-Men. I want to see that. I want to see crossovers with the X-Men. I want it to be like another Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't necessarily want to see spin-off movies from X-Men like the Wolverine movies. Like, let's just keep it X-Men. I mean, Wolverine's cool and all, but like he's had his time in movies. Let's just focus on the X-Men.
It's time for Toad. It's time for Toad's spotlight.
For real, man. He was only in that first movie. He get killed off so fast. Sabretooth, criminally underdeveloped, even with Origins, which we don't speak of Origins. But there's so many good things. I think that Disney, if I were Disney, I would just kind of let Fox go underneath the same name and kind of operate pretty much just as they have been, but just reap the rewards of the revenue. And at the same time, now you can use X-Men characters and Fantastic Four whenever you want. Also, we haven't really talked about this. The villains. All those X-Men villains come back into the fold. Although I am curious as to what they would do with Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, as number one, they killed off Quicksilver, and they're not mutants, they're enhanced.
Also, I don't think Scarlet Witch is a hero.
She kind of plays both sides on that. But it'll still be interesting, like if you have a Magneto now, who would play the new Magneto in Professor X?
Well, because see, now that kind of just makes the Ultron movie pointless. Because Magneto officially now exists in that universe, and he could have stopped the entire thing if he wanted to. 3 seconds. Movie's done. A bunch of robots also, we're gonna kill the world. Just sending it into space. Magneto's like, no. They all die. As it should have happened.
As it should have happened.
He lives on that planet. He's not.
There was an all-powerful force keeping Magneto at bay, called licensing rights. They're the true superpower.
They're called Killjoy.
Yes.